Hello, the Pioneer viewers. How are you doing? I hope you're healthy and well. In a moment, I will share with you a map report on the latest developments related on the Russia-Ukraine war. You know that the activity in recent days has been peaked. Especially the activity on the Kherson and Donetsk front lines is quite intense. The mobilization in these two regions has worn out both armies. However, we can easily say that this wear and tears is more in the Russian army. There are various reasons for this. In the activity on the Kherson front line, the Ukrainian army is already at the attacking side. Therefore, we can say that it is unusual for the Russian army to be quite worn out here. On the Donetsk front line, the Russian army is the attacking side. However, the intense Ukrainian defense in the region causes the Russian army to wear out. So what is the latest situation on the front line? Let's analyze the developments together. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications so as not to miss the daily map reports and agenda reports prepared by the Pioneer team. You can also support me and my team by using the super thanks button below the video. Thank you for your support in advance. Let's start if you're ready, the Pioneer reports. Let's start by analyzing the latest developments on the Kherson front line. As we said at the beginning of our reports, this situation here is still very complicated for the Russian army, because here the Russian army was aiming to stop the Ukrainian army. However, from stopping it, the Russian army could not reduce the pressure of the Ukrainian army even a little bit. Ukrainian troops in the region are intensively hitting Russian lines. Ukrainian artillery units are hitting more and more Russian positions every day. When we look at the latest clashes on the Kherson front line, we see that the clashes are clustered in Poima, Pechanovka, and Krinky region, as in the past days. We have already mentioned the importance of these areas. The fact that the Ukrainian forces have established bridgeheads in this region is the biggest threat to the Russian presence in the region. Therefore, Russian troops want to remove Ukrainian troops from this region. However, it is not possible to say that the results have been achieved so far. Ukrainian troops settled in the region continue to protect their positions despite all Russian attacks. Another Ukrainian offensive point is Hola Pristan. Let's look at the region on the map. As you can see, this can be considered as a delta basin. Obviously, winter conditions here may pose a problem for the Ukrainian army in the coming days. The salt soil structure in the region may soften due to the rain and snow. Of course, this situation will limit the mobility of the armored vehicles of the Ukrainian army. However, there is also a situation here. Russian defense in the region is quite weak. Therefore, the Ukrainian army can make a progress in the region despite all the difficulties. If the Russian troops in the region are not reinforced, the Ukrainian army may not need armored vehicles to advance in the region. Let us continue with the artillery activity in the region. According to the latest reports, Russian artillery hit Valyatinsky, Berezilivka, and Antonivka. In turn, Ukrainian artillery units targeted Russian armored forces positions in Hola, Bryansky, Krasnishka, Alyoshki, Poima, Pechanovka, Podestepsnoye, and Kryonska. Let us continue by analyzing the latest developments in the Robotny sector of the Zaporizhia front line. This is one of the areas where there has been an extraordinary increase in the activity in recent days. According to the latest reports, Russian troops in this area have decided to move from a defensive position to an offensive position. However, this may be the biggest mistake that the Russian army has made so far, because the Ukrainian defense in the region is quite strong. A large part of the Ukrainian army's inventory was amassed on the Zaporizhia front line during the counteroffensive, and also on the Donetsk front line. Therefore, even if the Ukrainian today says that the counteroffensive has ended, there is a huge build-up. We should also say that this build-up will not end in the short term. In addition, the Ukrainian army has expanded its areas of control in this region and has taken up position in the area suitable for defense positions. Of course, this is a big disadvantage for the Russian army. According to the latest reports, the Russian army tried to advance in Verbov, one of these important positions. We know that the Verbov area is critical for the war, because in this area there is a second layer of the Russian army's defense line. The deepest point where Ukrainian troops can penetrate the Russian positions on the Robotny section of the Zaporizhia front line is also around Verbov. Therefore, in order for the Russian troops to continue to exist here, the depth into which the Ukrainian troops have penetrated must be cleared. There is also the following situation. The Ukrainian army was trying to seize the dominant hills northwest of Verbov, just like in Klishchivka. Most recently, there were reports of limited advances by the Ukrainian troops in this area. Therefore, Russian troops here have no choice but to repel Ukrainian troops. That is, if they want to retain control of the Verbov area, this is what the Russian army tried to do. However, there was no choice in the Ukrainian positions in the area. Ukrainian troops successfully repelled Russian attacks. As we have noted, there is an increasing intensity of the Russian military offensive in the region. However, it is not enough. Russian artillery has also been active in this region in recent days. According to the latest reports, Russian artillery units targeted Ukrainian positions in Kremenskoye, Stepny, Pavlovka, Malaya Sherbyanki, Novodanilovka, Charnov, and Goliapol. There are indications that Russian infantry will shortly be mobilized in Goliapol, but this has not been yet confirmed. Ukrainian artillery also hit Russian positions in Zhorybyanka, Nestryanka, Kopani, Rivne, Ichenko, Novoprokopivka, Verbov, and Novofedorovka. Now, let's continue with another region where the activity is intense, namely the Donetsk front line. As I mentioned at the beginning of our report, the Ukrainian defense here is quite strong. Therefore, the Russian army has still not been able to make the desired progress. However, there is a very important issue to be considered here. The Ukrainian army is currently conducting a tremendous defense. This is true, but we cannot predict how long the stability of this defense will last. The breakdown in the defense lines will lead to the successes of intensive Russian attacks. Therefore, on the Donetsk front, especially in Avdiivka, great caution must be exercised. Recent reports indicate that the Russian armed forces, backed by the long-range weapons, are carrying out defensive operations near Novomikhailovka and Marinka, near Pevermanskoye, from the Yasenyovitska fork to Avdiivka and near Stepnoe. It is possible to say that in the direction of Stepnoe and Avdiivka, the Russian troops achieved limited success. On the other hand, we have to say that here, along the entire Donetsk front line, the Russian troops carried out a quite fierce attacks. Let us also mention the artillery activity. According to the latest reports, Russian artillery units targeted Yekaterinivka, Pobeda, Gorogorivka, Krasnogorovka, Nevelskoye, Nataliov, Donetletskoye, Lastochkin, Beryatichny, Karminka, and Sukhaila Balka. In turn, Ukrainian artillery responded to the Russian forces in the village of Stromyalivka, Valyodnoe, Opitny, and Krasnogorovka. So, what do you think? Do you think the Ukrainian army will succeed in the Kherson offensive? What is your opinion on the current situation on the Donetsk front line? How long do you think the Ukrainian defense will be able to hold out? Let me know in the comments. I read and care about all your comments.